Lesson 7. Recently, the lowly octopus has been shown to have a surprising intellectual ability. It can learn a task simply by watching another octopus do it first. This type of learning by observation is considered a very advanced form of learning. One that is possible, some scientists argue, only in a brain almost on the verge of conceptual thought. Prior to this, only higher vertebrates, such as mammals, were thought to be capable of such learning. This surprising research was conducted by two scientists in Italy. In it, they studied the ability of the octopus, a member of the mollusk family, to imitate a model. This behavior is well known in humans and other higher vertebrates, and has been considered necessary to conceptual thought. Their experiment has shown that octopuses have this learning ability as well. In the first stage of that experiment, an octopus was trained to swim to one of two balls placed in its tank, one red, the other white. If the red ball was the correct one in the experiment, and the creature went to the white ball, it received a mild electric shock. But if it went to the red ball, it was rewarded with a piece of fish hidden behind the ball. Once the creature learned to go to the correct ball every time, an untrained octopus was placed in a neighboring tank so that it could watch the first octopus choose between another pair of balls. An octopus's eyes can focus at varying distances to provide highly accurate vision. According to the researchers, this observing octopus watched the trained octopus very closely, its head and eyes following the action. The observer octopus was allowed to see the trained octopus find and eat the food 4 times. Then the observer octopus was isolated and given a pair of balls without reward or punishment. The observer octopus chose the correct ball right away, the scientist said, whereas the human-trained octopuses took an average of 16 trials to learn to go to the red ball consistently and 21 to go to the white. By contrast, in their first 4 trials, the observer octopuses scored an average of 86% correct when the red ball was the correct one, and 70% correct when the white ball was. Something about red balls, apparently, was slightly more attractive, since the number of training trials for each had been equal. Even when the observer octopuses were tested 5 days after having watched the human-trained octopuses, they still scored about as well. This finding agrees with other research showing that the octopus has the most complex brain of any invertebrate. For example, an experimental psychologist at the University of Oxford, J.Z. Young, has found that the octopus's memory functions are organized somewhat like that of a mammal. Mr. Young has also discovered that octopuses can take in many kinds of specialized information and then generalize from those specifics in a way that allows them to make appropriate decisions when faced with new situations. Octopuses also have a reputation among aquarium keepers as being curious and bright, traits which are common in the higher vertebrates.